that you're passing out. How many officers are passing out and which categories?
Today is a special day because we treasure not only experience but also training. So today we are passing out 97 cadet assistant superintendents of prisons. Those are people who join prisons as graduates. And they have been in training for 18 months.
A resource center
then, together with them, they are what we call the non-commissioned officers. Those are junior who have been in service and were promoted to various ranks, but they had not trained to fit in their ranks.
And these ones may not necessarily be graduates or not?
They are not graduates. Okay. Actually, all those joined at the level of senior 4. And now, but they have various ranks, sergeant, corporal, chief, and the like. They don't reach the principal officer. They stop at the rank of chief. And now those ones are 267. And the course has taken them 3 months because it's a question of review of what they did on entry and adding now the leadership component because now they are in charge. When you become a non-commissioned officer, it means you are a leader but at a lower level. You are managing the grassroots cadres. And those are what we call the non-commissioned officers. From non-commissioned officers, we go to the junior officers who are principal officers. From the principal officers, we go to cadet assistant superintendents of prisons. Those are what we call the mid-row officers. Then, of course, the ranks continue up to the top.
We have seen intakes changing, and of course, the numbers of officers increasing per intake. What is driving this?
Of course, it is the population of the inmates. The world ratios are supposed to be 1 staff manning 3 prisoners. But right now we are standing at 1 to 6. So it is very, very, very hectic, and we think we need to manage the ratios.
In the field of work.
And as we conclude, we want to speak to the minister. How many now officers, prisons officers do we have? And is the ratio of the inmates?
We are still down. We have 12,000 inmates, 12,000 staff against 60,000, 65,000 inmates. The ratio is still too high. Okay. So we hope when we get other intakes, then we shall balance the ratio.
Okay, Mr. Waina, we shall talk to you again. Let's first finish your boss, the minister. Dear viewers of UBC TV Inspiring Uganda, you're still catching us live from Kololo Independence Grounds. And of course, now here with me, I have the Minister of Internal Affairs, Honorable Major General Kahinda Otafire. Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon. Give us some music interlude.
Fine, thank you. First of all, I should recommend you're very smart.
Thank you very much.
That's not important.
Now, we are here to commission over 300 prisons officers. But as the line minister, recently, the president came out very loudly to talk against torture of inmates. First of all, have you done anything as the line minister?
The president came out to talk about torture of inmates. Torture has never been our policy, and anybody who's been doing it will be held responsible and punished.
These people, I assume, the authorities know them. Do we have any officers that have been taken to courts of law?
I also assume that you have no evidence of that. So we don't prosecute people who are not brought before the law. If there are anybody who offends the law, they get sanctioned. Yeah, as of now, we don't have record of
and I therefore
habitual offenders or policy
request the parade commander.
So should we
who offend
for a lot of drums
do so as individuals.
For the Chief Justice,
yeah,
the moment he arrives.
Charge for all prison authorities.
But should we expect something to be done so that at least...
I don't cross bridges until I get to them. Unless this is brought to my attention. I don't want to engage in speculation.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you so much, Honorable Minister. I will let you go and welcome His Excellency the President. All right, dear viewers, that was Honorable Major General Kahinda Otafire, the Minister of Internal Affairs. Of course, talking about what recently the President talked against, the torture of inmates. But he says they do not have anyone that has already been taken to court or something, but he will be
Ladies
letting
and
us
gentlemen,
know.
as we wait for the
Omulungi tulaba gwe
Chief
ku Star
Justice
TV
to come
wamu n'emikutu gyaffe emirala gyonna
I was
tukutuukako
already telling
butereevu
you that,
okuva wano
the vision of the
Kololo
training school
ku
or the
kisaawe
Prisons
Kololo
Academy
Kololo
and
Independence
Training
Grounds
School
ng'ekituleese
is
wano
to offer
omukulembeze
training that is
w'eggwanga
responsive.
General Yoweri Kaguta Museveni
The-
agenda
the
kukuliramu
mission
omukolo
is to offer
ogw'okufulumya
training that is
abasirikale
responsive to correctional needs.
b'amakomera ebikumi
The
bisatu
trainees
abasukka mu
you see
bikumi
before
bisatu
you
kakati abagenda bano okufulumizibwa
have
mwe
been
muli
given
abasirikale
that kind of training
907 bano
where
be
they
bayise
have to
cadet assistant
do their
superintendent
work
of
in
prisons
response to the
wamu
correction needs, making
n'abasirikale
sure that
abalala
rehabilitation
ebikumi
takes
bibiri
place.
nkaaga
The
mu
inmates that
musanvu
we
bano nga
receive
babayise ba non
get what they
commissioned
need
officers
to
omukulu
change their
bayine
attitude,
omwogezi
to change
w'ekitongole
their
kino ekyamakomera
behavior, and they go back
atunnyonnyodde
to society
ani
when they
akulanga ani wa
reformed
kakati
and
gwe tubadde twogera
responsible
naye
citizens.
ye minisita avunanyizibwa ku nsonga
Ladies and
z'omunda mu
gentlemen,
ggwanga Major
like I
General
told you,
Kahindo
the
Otafiire nga
Prisons
musoyezza
Academy has
nange
been
ekibuuzo
around
ne
for some
mugamba nti
time, since
omukulembeze
1907.
ennaku zino yavaayo
And,
gye buvudde katono n'ategeeza
has
nti
passed
kyamu
out.
avumirira okutulugunya abasibe
Correct, Commander.
nga bali mikono gy'abe ebyokwerinda atugambye
see
tebalina
the
gwe
Chief
baakutteyo
Justice
naye ng'ensonga
is
eyo
already in with
bagikolako
I
kale
request
mwebale
you
nnyo mwebalire ddala tubagamba
welcome
nti
him.
tugenda kubanga tugenda mu maaso na buli kimu ekigenda okubanga kijja wano kakati gw'olaba wano atuuse essaawa eno ye amyuka saabalamuzi ndowooza bwe mba nga sifunye bulungi ye saabalamuzi yennyini saabalamuzi Alphonse Owinyi-Dollo naye atuuse. Ladies and gentlemen, dear viewers of UBC TV Inspiring Uganda and of course all our other stations linking us, we coming to live from Kololo Independence Grounds as Uganda Prisons is passing out over 300 officers. Now arriving right now is the Chief Justice Honorable Owinyi-Dollo Alphonse. Let's first listen in to the salute of the Chief Justice.
The Chief Justice, we are most honored that you have come to attend this function. You're most welcome. Ladies and gentlemen, once again,
Dear viewers of UBC TV Inspiring Uganda, what I can see here is the motorcade of His Excellency the President, who is also
Ladies and gentlemen, the fountain of honor has arrived.
Fountain of Honor. The Commander-in-Chief has arrived.
This is what we are waiting for.
Arrival, His Excellency the President will take a salute
His Excellency, the President of the Republic of Uganda,
by
is with us to officiate on this very important function for Uganda Prison Service and the entire country.
the parade today is being commanded by Assistant Commissioner of Prisons Tumulyami Eli, and of course the Tri-C. The Tri-C is you can call that person the second in command in case the commander gets a problem, and that is the Superintendent of Prisons Nakakawa Josephine. Here, of course, had to take us through the parade, the quick and slow march. Now, His Excellency the President takes the salute. Those were anthems played by a combined band from the Uganda Prison Services and Uganda Police Force. Now, among the directors of music on the police side is commanded by Acting Commissioner of Police, Okwi Stephen. And of course, on the side of prisons is the Assistant Superintendent of Prisons, Nyeko David, on the musical side. Now, the commander of the parade is inviting His Excellency the President, of course, to inspect the parade. And the parade commander is the Assistant Commissioner of Prisons, Tumuriame Eli, inviting His Excellency to inspect.
The parade commander has given a report, His Excellency the President, about the parade formation today, and the President is proceeding to inspect the parade. Our parade commander today is Assistant Commissioner of Prisons, Tumurame Eri. Parade twice is Superintendent of Prisons, Nakakawa Josephine. Parade Adjutant is Assistant Superintendent of Prisons, Nuigaba Ivan. And Parade RCM is Matron Awori Esther. The directors of music are for police, Acting Commissioner of Police, Okwi Stephen, and for prisons, Assistant Superintendent of Prisons, Nyeko David. Let my colleague Mary give you the guard commanders.
Thank you very much. The guard commanders for this day's parade. Guard number 1 is going to be commanded.
There he gets onto his car to inspect the parade that is being commanded by Assistant Commissioner of Prisons, Tumuriame Eri. And the second commander, or the Twaisi, we call them in this language, security language, is the Superintendent of Prisons, Nakakawa Josephine. That is it. And then there's what they call the parade adjutant. Is the Assistant Superintendent of Prisons, Nwagaba Ivan. There he goes, His Excellency the President, the Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces, inspecting the parade. Just to remind you, the music you're hearing in the background is from the combined efforts of the Uganda Police and the Uganda Prisons and on the side of part of the police, the Acting Commissioner of Police, Okwi Stephen, is commanding that very part of the band. And then on the side of the prisons, the Assistant Superintendent of Prisons, Nyeko David, is also taking it over from there. Now, after the President after him inspecting the parade, of course there will be a parade march past, both slow and quick. And of course, we are going to be seeing all this.
Daniel Eneku Opio, guard number 11.
Omulungi atulaba ku Star TV, nze Dennis Blair Kalanzi emabega wa kazindaalo kano okubuulira biki ebigenda mu maaso. Tuli wano e Kololo ng'eggwanga lyaffe wansi w'ekitongole eky'amakomera bafulumya abasirikale abawerera ddala abasukka mu 3 nga ku bano kuliko abasirikale 97 nga ba Cadet Assistant Superintendents of Prisons wamu n'abasirikale abalala 267 be bayita aba non-commissioned officers. Okusinziira ku mwogezi w'ekitongole eky'amakomera yatunyonyodde nti ba Cadet Assistant Superintendent of Prisons abagenda ofulumya wano be bayingira ekitongole kino eky'amakomera nga balina ziddigiri oba nga they are graduates. So nga ate bano ba non-commissioned officers be bano abayingira ne bwoba toyina degree oba oyina ki naye nga bazzeeyo okusomesebwa oba okutendekebwa okwongera ku bukugu oba okukola emirimu gyabwe mu kitongole kino. Essaawa eno omukulembeze w'eggwanga era muduumizi ag'oku ntikko ali mu kulambula nnyiriri z'abasirikale era ndoozange wenjogerera kati amaliriza okulambula ennyiriri z'abasirikale nga bw'omulaba awo bamuyise ennyimba z'eggwanga nga zimaze okukubibwa alambule ennyiriri z'abasirikale. gyolaba bandi music oyo omusendekerevu gw'owulira ava mu bandi nga bandi eno ekoleddwa abasirikale b'amakomera wamu n'abasirikale ba poliisi bali wano nno munnange okuba nti bakwasaganya n'okutwalaganya ekintu kino mu maaso nga bwe nkugambyeko wali mu lunyanyimbe nti ku sayidi y'aba poliisi aba music aba bandi eduumiddwa oba ekulembeddwamu acting commission of police Okwil Stephen so nga ate ku side ey'amakomera yo nga eduumiddwa assistant superintendent of prisons Nyeko David omukulu era nabo abo ali mu kubalambula takoma kulambulanyiriza abasirikale bali bokka wabula ne bandi nga bw'omulaba His Excellency the President of the Republic of Uganda. All right, countrymen and countrywomen, yes, we are still coming to you live from Kololo Independence Grounds. The President is winding up the inspection of the parade being commanded by the Assistant Commissioner of Prisons, Turamwe Eri. These are one of the rare moments, dear countrymen and women, as Uganda continues to strengthen the security of the country within and outside the country. That is why they continue to commission these officers from the police. Also recently they commissioned the commandos, were also commissioned also from the army. Altogether is a joint effort to see to it that the security of the country is stable and people can go about their daily activities without any interference.
We witnessed the end of the inspection of the parade and the band.
Goes directly to the people.
And I would request that we all rise
the internal security
to welcome the fountain of honor
and of course in case
for this
there are
noble
some
occasion.
Issues then they will send to their prisons to handle. But also the prisons officers, they have to be trained, well trained on how to handle inmates. That is what is happening here. The officers that have been trained very well how to handle inmates today are going to be passed out.
There
he goes, His Excellency the President.
Take his seat and we proceed with prayers.
Goes to take his seat.
Thank you so much once again, Your
Will proceed.
Your Excellency, without much ado, permit me to invite the religious leaders for today's function to come and briefly link us with God.
Okay, the directors, as we wait for the prayers, the director of ceremonies is the Commission of Prisons and the spokesperson of Uganda Prison
Your Excellency,
Services,
the President
Mr.
of the Republic of Uganda.
Let's listen in to
Yoweri
prayers.
Kaguta Museveni, all protocol observed. I greet you in the name of Jesus Christ. I am Reverend Pascal Aneno Chunkuma, the chaplain of St. John's Prison Chapel, Luzira. Your Excellency, I am grateful to be part of the prison's fraternity, and I applaud Commissioner General for the good leadership and his love for God. Hence, he is the canon of the Anglican Communion. To the candidates, I congratulate and encourage you to emulate the life of an army commander, Cornelius, which is recorded in Acts of the Apostles, chapter 10. Though he was the army commander, he committed himself to God, and God revealed himself to him. As you serve, commit yourself to the Lord. Let us pray. Heavenly Father, I thank you for His Excellency, the President of the Republic of Uganda, Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, his cabinets, and all who works under him. Thanks for the Commissioner General of Prisons, Canon Dr. Johnson Bebashaija, and all the prison staff. Give them wisdom in word and action. May they uphold what is right, hate what is wrong, and perform what is just, for the welfare of our people and the glory of your name. Most gracious Father, I thank you for his grace, the Most Reverend Dr. Samuel Stephen Kazimba Mugalo, and all who serves under his leadership. Give us wisdom and provision on how to reach out to the people during this lockdown. Father, I thank you for these brave men and women who put their lives on the line of service daily for our nation by providing human rights and safety of the prisoners. Thank you for the skill they have acquired through the training. I pray that you watch over them and bless them dearly. Lord, I pray for your intervention against COVID-19 pandemic. Comfort the families who lost their dear ones and heal those who are sick in Jesus' name. Therefore, as they pass out today, I, Reverend Pascal and Neno Chunkuma, do commission them as Paul and Barnabas in Acts of the Apostles, chapter 13, verse 3 to 4, to go and fulfill the task ahead of them in the name of God the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Amen. Amen.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. In the name of Almighty Allah, the most gracious, the most merciful. This is Sheikh Muhammad Mulaje, the Muslim chaplain Uganda Prison Service. Your Excellency, the President of the Republic of Uganda, Honorable Minister, Chief Justice, Inspector General of Police, graduates, ladies and gentlemen, I take this opportunity to congratulate those who have completed their training course. In the Holy Quran, Surah Kahfi, verse 84, Allah says, everything has its cause, and our presence here is because of you who have completed your course. Advice. Quran, Allah says in Surah Imran, verse 17, God promised the patient, trustworthy, righteous, humbled, and repentant to reward them with the best here and after. So, brothers and sisters, if you follow this quoting, you will find everything smoothly with a good life and after. Let's pray. Oh Allah, we thank you for this wonderful day to enable us having this congregation. Oh Allah, we ask you to lead us in all we intended to do as this function, the pass out of our brothers and sisters. Oh Allah, we pray you to protect and guide our Excellency, the President of the Republic of Uganda, Yoweri Kaguta Museveni Tibuhaburwa. Oh God, help us overcome the pandemic of COVID-19 and the other diseases like HIV, diabetes, cancer, high blood pressure, and other illnesses. The Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, every sickness is cured except old age and death. We hope that we shall overcome this pandemic, inshallah ta'ala. ربنا تقبل منا إنك أنت السميع العليم وتب علينا مولانا إنك أنت التواب الرحيم وصلى اللهم على سيدنا محمد النبي الأمي وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم والحمد لله رب العالمين آمين آمين.
Your Excellency, as the religious leaders are going back, take their seats, I request we observe a 1 minute moment of silence for the recently lost important persons in this country. the former Deputy Inspector General of Police, and the two generals, Pecos Kutesa and Ruabantu. May their souls rest in eternal peace. Thank you very much.
All right, dear viewers of UBC TV Inspiring
Your
Uganda.
Excellency,
we
we are very
here
honored that
in
you've come
Kololo
today.
at the
And
pass out
before you,
of the prisons
we have
officers.
very important
Now, the
persons
prisons
with
academy
us.
that has trained
We have
these officers
the right,
has come evolving. The
Honorable
prisons
Lordship,
training school was
the Chief
established
Justice
in
is with
1907
us.
at
We have the Honorable
Luzira,
Minister
known as
of
Depot.
Internal Affairs.
It was at that time
General
run by the soldiers
with
of
us.
King African Rifle,
We have
who also doubled as
the
the
CDF
instructors. That time, then on
with
28th
us.
April
We have the
1950, the school was
representative
officially
of the
opened
Inspector General of Police
by His Excellency Sir John
here
Hassan,
present.
Governor,
We have
who was also the commander of the armed
the
forces
heads
at that time.
of the
And that
auxiliary
is when
security
it got the
agencies,
first commandant,
ISO,
independent
SO,
of the soldiers
and
of King
CMI.
African Rifle.
Of course,
It was then renamed
your host
Prison
is
Staff
here, the
College
Commissioner General of
and
Prisons,
Training School
and the top
till
management
recently
of Uganda
when it
Prison Service.
became
Also
Prisons
present, we have the
Academy
members
and
of the
Training
Prisons
School,
Authority.
located in Uzira. Most of you who
these
are
are
residents of that side,
senior citizens,
you
Mr.
know the
Martin
school
Obrecht
very well.
and
It is now
Madam
called the Prisons Academy
Florence
and
Sewanyama.
Training School. It
They
is
have
the
all
same
come to
school
witness
that
this
has
person.
trained the officers
Excellency,
being passed out today, and of
without
course so
wasting
many
time,
other intakes
Let's
before.
get to the parade commander to do the march past, both in slow and quick time. Your Excellency.
Ladies and gentlemen, countrymen and countrywomen, dear viewers of UBC TV Inspiring Uganda, now the parade is taking it over from there with a march past, both quick and slow. Those ones of you who understand this language, you know very well. countrymen and countrywomen, the parade is marching past. Of course, we are showing, or we are being entertained with the slow march, but later we shall go to the quick march. Yeah, now I've been telling you about the background of the prison college or the prison school. Now, since its inception in 1907, there has been 19 lots of the superintendent of prisons that have been passed through this school, and these ones have been trained. But also importantly, these ones, they have been there since 1981, when the school started admitting graduates for the different courses. In 1981 is when the college started admitting graduates. This means that before, most of these people were non-graduates. Some were, they had certificates of PLE, then the UCE and USCE. But to date, so many graduates have joined these forces, not only prisons, but also in the other forces, Uganda Police Services, then the Uganda People's Defense Forces, and now the prisons. So many professional from different professions, Ugandans have joined the services. They have joined our security organs, and of course today we are witnessing the pass out of some of them. Now there has been 19 intakes, and they have been increasing per intake. I'll read for you some of the intakes that have taken place in the intake of 1963, 1964. A total of 14 were passed out, and all of these ones were male. That day, the women were not really interested. I don't know why they were not interested in joining the security forces, but in the intake of 1963, 1964, only 14 were passed out, and all of them were male. Then in the intake of 1964 and 1965, 11 were passed out, and all of them were male. In 1966, 1968 intake, there were 18. The number increased a bit, but of course we did not have any woman in that intake, and they were passed on. Then in 1967, 1969 intake, that is when now the women started joining, and in this intake of 1967, 1969, 9 officers were passed out, 2 were women, and 7 were men, were male. 2 were female, 7 were male. Still, you can see the number of males joining these forces are higher than the number of females joining these forces. Now in 1968, 1970 intake, that is way back before most of you were born, but we have these things on record. In that intake of 1968, 1970, again Uganda passed out 17 prisons officers, but none of them was a female. Then we come up to I'll start when the NRA took over power. There are so many other intakes there. In 1981, 1982 intake, 17 were passed out. 1983, 1984, 12 were passed out. None of them were female. In 1989, in 1987, 1988, 15 were passed out. Now, the parade commander has changed the tune plus the band. Now, what you're seeing on your screens, ladies and gentlemen, dear viewers of UBC TV Inspiring Uganda, is what they call the quick march. They are marching in a quick. The other one was slow, what they call slow march. This is the quick march. Some of you tend to call it good march. but in the language of security language, or it's called the quick march. This is what is happening here. Yeah, getting back to the intake and how the officers have been passed out, looking at the gender, the male and the female. In 1992 intake, 1992-1993, there were 11, 1 female and 10 male. Then in 1994 and 1996 intake, only 9 officers, prisons officers, were passed out, 8 being male and 1 being female. In 2000 recently, 2001, 2002 intake, 11 officers, prisons officers were passed out, 9 were male and 2 were female. So you see now the number starts growing on the side of the female. In 2004-2005 intake, 8 officers were passed out, 6 being male and 2 being female. So you see, as the years came by, also the number of female officers increased. We used not to have in the 1963, now we have 1 or 2 or 3. Recently, 2010 and 2012, 44 officers were passed out, and amongst these ones, 33 were male and 11 were female. So you can see that the number of female officers started coming up. Then in 2014-2015, 41 were passed out, 36 were male, 5 were okay. Though in that intake the female number reduced, but still we had some numbers there. Then in 2016, recently, 2016-2018 intake, 73 were passed out, 55 being male and 18 being female. This is so encouraging that now women are participating in these security issues very well. Now the current one, this one of 2020-2021, you can imagine between 2016 and 2020 we did not have any intake there, possibly because of the COVID-19 pandemic. People are not training. Of course, you remember the president had closed the school. Of course, closing the school, meaning even the these academies, these schools that train these officers, they cannot continue when the pandemic is at large. So the current one, 2020-2021, is the one. These ones you're seeing on your screen, there are 97, and amongst the 97, 82 are male and 15 are the female. So that is the statistics of the cadet assistant superintendents of prisons that have been passed out since the intake of 1963 and 1964 to date, to this intake of 2020-2021. Enjoy the viewing, ladies and gentlemen. We're still coming to you live from Kololo Independence Grounds. I'm called Dennis Blair Kalans.
They always do
Thank you, Parade Commander and the team. Thank you. Your Excellency, in the wise sayings of Churchill, he clearly stated that we are what we repeatedly do. Excellency then is not an act, but a habit. And in the same vein, excellency is a habit of Uganda Prison Service. With your permission, sir, I request the commandant to come and introduce the group of the trainees he's presenting to you for the pass out. As she's coming, I request the band to give us a tune, a patriotic tune at that. Thank you very much, Your Excellency.
Our chief guest this afternoon, His Excellency, the President of the Republic of Uganda, General Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, Your Lordship, the Chief Justice, Cabinet Ministers present, Honorable Members of Parliament present, the Uganda Prisons Authority, Chief of Defense Forces, Representative of the Inspector General of Police, Commissioner General of Prisons, religious leaders present, all invited guests in your various capacities, dear graduates, ladies and gentlemen. I am greatly honored and privileged to welcome you to the pass-out ceremony of 97 Cadet Assistant Superintendents of Prisons and 267 non-commissioned prisons officers. Your Excellency, 82 of the cadets are male, while 15 are female. Initially, 99 had reported, but 2 could not proceed with training on medical grounds, and they were therefore discharged. Out of the NCOs, 52 are chief warders and wardresses, while 215 are sergeant warders and wardresses. The cadets reported for training on the 29th of February 2020, making it 18 months of training. They first underwent 3 months of field training at our Chitalia training camp, where they covered the following modules. 1, political education and ideology. 2, field craft. 3, map reading, counterinsurgency and internal security, physical training, skills at arms, and they also did Kiswahili. Thereafter, they were taken through our traditional prisons modules, which are 18 in total, which include introduction to Uganda Prison Service, treatment of inmates, administration of sentences of imprisonment, which we usually call remission. They did human rights, first aid, guidance and counseling, introduction to ICT, introduction to law, prisons intelligence and counterterrorism, prison standing orders, management and leadership, criminology and penology, treasury accounting instructions, They also did parade drills and command. They did taekwondo. They went for shooting range. And they also did general and cross-cutting issues, which include gender. They finally went for field attachment. Your Excellency, they did final exams, and I'm glad to report that they all passed. The NCOs, on the other hand, have been with us for a 3-month NCO course, of which they did 8 modules, which is meant to equip them to command the junior officers. Those 8 modules included parade drills, prison standing orders, introduction to ICT, human rights, management and leadership, administration of sentences of imprisonment, skills at arms, and general and cross-cutting issues. The main challenge we had during the training has been the COVID-19 pandemic, which limited certain activities. For example, field visits, which was meant for them to appreciate Uganda at a larger scale, but wasn't possible because of the pandemic. I would, however, like to thank His Excellency for his visionary leadership, which some measures put in place to control the spread of COVID-19. I would like to report that in the training school, we followed all the standard operating procedures that are put in place, and we have not had any problem of COVID-19. All staff and all the trainees have also been fully vaccinated against COVID-19. Your Excellency, the graduates passing out today have been well equipped to carry out their duties as prisons officers and move Uganda forward, cognizant of the strategic interests of the country, being ideologically clear and upright. The cadets have been trained to be managers at their different prison units where they will be posted, while the non-commissioned officers have been equipped with skills to manage and command the junior staff. Your Excellency, I do not take for granted the gesture that you have shown of accepting to grace this pass-out ceremony amidst this COVID-19 pandemic. I thank you for coming. This further goes to show the deep commitment you have for ensuring security of the country. I would also like to thank the leadership of the Ministry of Internal Affairs for making this training possible. In a special way, I thank the Commissioner General of Prisons for professionalizing the Uganda Prison Service by making it possible for such professionals to be recruited. To my committed team of trainers at the training school, thank you for your hard work and sacrifice, which has made this day possible. To our dear guardians and parents who I believe are watching us virtually, I would like to thank you for entrusting us with your children and letting them join the Uganda Prison Service. Please continue guiding them and encouraging them as they join the workforce. To the graduates, I congratulate you upon completing your training. I applaud you for your resilience and hard work throughout the training. Continue to uphold our core values, which include professionalism, reliability, integrity, being security conscious, the aspect of oneness, being nationalistic, and above all, keeping your discipline. With these, I assure you, you will live to your full potential and you'll have a successful career in Uganda Prison Service. As our motto says, for God and my country, so, dear graduates, in whatever you do, put God and your country ahead of you, and you will succeed. In conclusion, Your Excellency, I once again thank you for gracing this pass-out ceremony. For God and my country.
Thank you very much, Commandant. Your Excellency, Chairman Mao, in most of his speeches, he emphasized to his team of leaders that be a pupil before you become a teacher. Learn from the cadres at the lower levels before you issue orders. That is why it is a principle in Uganda Prison Service that every stage of leadership requires some sort of training. And that's what we are doing. With your permission, sir, I request to invite the Commissioner General of Prisons to give his remarks, and thereafter invite the Minister of Internal Affairs, Honorable Minister of Internal Affairs, to invite you to address your people, Your Excellency. Meanwhile, the band, put a patriotic song to welcome the Commissioner General of Prisons.
Your Excellency, the President of the Republic of Uganda, General Retired Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, Your Lordship, the Chief Justice, the Honorable Minister of Internal Affairs, the Honorable Members of Parliament, the Uganda Prisons Authority members, fellow service chiefs, the CDF, General Mbadi, Mr. Solgren, representing the IGP, Colonel Oruka, Director General, Internal Security Organization, Mr. Tret, Ambassador Tret, Director General, External Security Organization, the officers of the Uganda Prison Service, the graduates, both the cadet officers and the non-commissioned officers, invited guests, the media, ladies and gentlemen. Your Excellency, I want to thank you sincerely for coming to preside over this function. This will inspire these young people who are the future of the Uganda Prison Service. I have no doubt when they reach their stations, because you came to commission them, they will pass through wars in order to execute their duties. Permit me, Your Excellency, to give you a brief situation report, starting with the staffing. Your Excellency, we have 360 senior commissioned officers. When I add up these 97, that is if you wish to have them commissioned, I will have 457. These are going to superintend the 259 stations which we have in the Uganda Prison Service. We have non-uniformed officers, 115. These mainly offer the support services within the prison institution. We have 9,889 junior officers uniformed. We have 352 junior officers non-uniformed performing supportive roles, various supporting roles, which makes the staff in post 10,716. Your Excellency, you allowed us to recruit 2,000 warders and wardresses. They are undergoing training at our field training site in Chitalia. You also allowed us to recruit 200 cadet officers. The process of recruitment is still ongoing. It would have been completed, but it was disturbed by the pandemic. Now, if I add on these 2,000 recruits being trained right now, the total staff then would be 12,849. Your Excellency, I want to thank you for this significant boost in our numbers. Your Excellency, when I requested you for more staff, at that time it was not possible. We were only 19% of the establishment. But these recruitments, which you authorized recently, is going to bring us to 26%. 26% of establishment. That is still low, but at least appreciable. It brings us closer that if I can add on another 3,000, I would be in 50%. 50% can perform the functions of prisons officers. Your Excellency, as of this morning, we had in custody 65,147 prisoners. The last time you came to Rosetta to pass out officers, the percentage of convict and remand was 53% convicts and 47% remand. Today it has reversed. We have 53% remands and 47% convicts. This is purely due to the interference of the pandemic. But with the opening, the wheel of justice is again beginning to move. I hope we shall reverse those numbers soon or later. Your Excellency, last year, I had invited you to visit our new Minimax prison in Chitalia. It was not possible because the pandemic immediately set in. Fortunately, this facility came in handy because it formed the main isolation center for inmates who are coming into prison. We could not afford to admit inmates to Ruzira, to admit inmates to Jinja, because we would be spreading this nasty virus. So it became in handy, and it has enabled us largely to contain the pandemic in the Uganda prisons. The prison had been designed to take in long-term prisoners. But Your Excellency, for some time now, there has been a moratorium on the death penalty. If I can recall, we have not executed anybody since 1999. So these long-termers, the number is expanding. It is expanding. So we built that facility specifically for those long-termers. I want to give an example. The most long-term inmate I have was sentenced to 101 years. That means his sentence would end in the 22nd century. But sometimes we reward good behavior, and his earliest possible date of discharge is 2088. Such a person cannot just sit in Ruzira there. He cannot just sit in Jinja, because those prisons are not designed to have long-term prisoners like that. Actually, when they were built, the life sentence was only 20 years. That's why that facility in Stadia boasts of amenities like long tennis court, basketball court, football pitch, and even a recreation hall. We are yet put to that. Of course, we have been putting in the admissions in this pandemic era. And because of that, it was an inconvenient to some of the inmates whom we admitted. Of course, they are complaining about congestion. Yes, congestion was very present because we had to save lives. That was our intent. It is there. Hopefully, when this pandemic ends, I don't know when, it will come to be used in its purpose. Your Excellency, I want to thank you for the improved budget of the Uganda Prison Service. The last time you passed out cadets, I requested for enhancement of the production budget, the enhancement of the prison's infrastructure budget. And I'm very grateful that actually the budget has increased by 150%. I don't know whether we are not the only institution who have got this boost of the budget. And it has enabled us, Your Excellency, to continue constructing low-cost staff houses. From when we are last with us, we have added on 700 units of low-cost housing for our staff. The construction unit is becoming bigger. In these cadets, I have 2 civil engineering graduates. This is the beginning of the end of donating money to the private contractors. Your Excellency, now we have not only done staff accommodation, but we have moved even to constructing a prison by ourselves. We are now constructing a prison in Tungamo. That will be our first project done by the Uganda Prison Service Construction Unit. These 2 engineers plus the computer scientists, I think we even have 2 medical doctors. This is a real fundamental development. For that matter, Your Excellency, when you were last with us, I brought it to your attention that we wanted to build a new prisoners academy to match the current trends, to match the current training requirements. And I want to thank the UPDF, which actualized our plan into drawings. We have reduced those drawings into an artist's impression. And in the new year, at an appropriate time, we shall present them to you, sir, for funding consideration. What I'm sure of, that the UPDF Construction Brigade, together with the Uganda Prisons Construction Unit, are going to build this prisons academy. Something about COVID in prisons. Your Excellency, we have had 1,921 cases of COVID since the pandemic started. 1,722 were inmates, 129 our staff, and 70 relatives to staff. We have had fatalities. I think I can say limited fatalities, because we have lost only 3 inmates to COVID. We have lost only 1 staff to COVID and 1 staff relative, where we created what we call auxiliary treatment centers for COVID, 7 of them countrywide, and we have had almost 100% recovery. I don't attribute that to our prowess. I think there has been also divine intervention. Your Excellency, you have led us in prayers, which we have been keenly following, and we shall continue to do so that we can totally defeat this nasty virus. Our vaccination target of the Uganda prison staff, we have hit 99%. And we have also vaccinated the most vulnerable prisoners. Those are the ones who are 50 and above. Right now, we have prepared ourselves for a possible, I think it is not just a possible, I think it is coming, the third wave. We have emptied one of the prisons in Ruzira, completely empty. And we are adapting it to receive inmates who may be infected. For the third wave, it is better to get prepared. We have one high dependency unit for our staff in Ruzira with 25 beds. Thank goodness we also have oxygen and its regulators. I think we are well prepared in that direction. I am not saying that COVID, you come, we shall handle you, no. But we are prepared for it. Your Excellency, you gave us assignments which we are still continuing to handle, but we have now reached the threshold of semi-automation. We have to go through full throttle. We are now doing 5,000 acres of cotton. Adding on, we have to go for big boom sprayers for the pest in the cotton. We have to go even for machines to pick this cotton. And then we shall reach our target, which you gave us. And I must admit it is a very big target of 44,000 acres. We have done only 5,000. That is a very small percentage. But we have the determination, we have the resilience to go for those 44,000 acres that will produce approximately 1 million bales per year. Your Excellency, you gave us to produce maize seed to deal with these alternated seeds downtown. And I can say comfortably that we are producing hybrid seeds called UH5051 and UH5355. And in the field they have proven to be one of the best quality seeds, if not the best, because we have a germination rate of minimum 93%. Your Excellency, you gave us to do furniture for the MDAs. We have so far supported 55 entities of the ministries, departments, and agencies of government, but starting mainly with the ICT. We provided all that furniture of the ICT ministry. We have recently acquired modern machines from Turkey, and we are going to roll on. There's no doubt about that. Your Excellency, we are producing maize for our own consumption. We are doing 10,000 acres a year. But that is also a threshold of using just this dealing with the tractors, weed, chemical weed control, and even planting with machines. But where we have reached, we have to get the front line also. We have to get the machines which are going to harvest, thresh, clean, and store. And Your Excellency, a 400 billion project has already been approved. Right now we are still dealing with the feasibility study, I don't want to accuse my fellow managers, but the feasibility study has not yet taken off. Yet we took it up with Uganda Development Bank. We have decided as an institution to start with the capital which you gave us. And this financial year, we are going to have silos on 2 sites. That is at Rugole, where we have 1,200 acres maize plantation, and at Rimi Prison Farm, which we visited, Your Excellency, which will collect all the maize from the neighboring farms of Ibuga, of Chiburara, of Kamwenge, so that as we wait for that project to progress, we should be able to handle post-harvest, we should be able to have a good post-harvest handling of produce. Your Excellency, as you can see, the graduates, commissioning of officers is supposed to be a ceremonial uniform affair. But they are passing out in a working uniform. It is because we don't have a budget to avail that necessary uniform. I think we have only ceremonial uniform for 5 guards, which we always display here at national functions. But Your Excellency, we are not very much worried. We can pass out in working uniform. Your Excellency, you taught us revolutionary methods of work. We shall bid our time. After all, I saw the GDP of this country jumping from 27 billion US dollars just a few, or 1 or 2 years ago, to now 35 billion US dollars plus. I think that is a positive development which will eventually avail us the necessary funds to also dress the commissioned officers in ceremonial uniforms. Takwenda polepole. I want to request therefore, if possible, if I can add on about 5 billion shillings on my budget, I can cover all the people with this basic uniform. Because even then now, when they put on basic uniform, we are still having overruns which we are not able to pay for. Number 2, Your Excellency, and this is the last but one, we had what I call a howler. I don't know whether I'm using the correct, something which is very, very, very grave. We had a howler in Moroto, where we lost inmates and rifles. I apologize to the nation for being negligent. I apologize to the Karamajong because we unleashed people who are actually largely COVID positive. And I apologize to the UPDF who had arrested these people in the first place. But I also promised the escapees that they made a mistake. And we are hunting them down. I want to thank the UPDF for that assistance of hunting down these people. We have recovered 95 of them out of the 224. We have recovered 4 rifles out of the 14. And we are not going to relent until we collect all these people and we collect these rifles. We are really very indebted to the Uganda People's Defense Forces, and also you as Commander-in-Chief, the various interventions which you have been doing in Karamoja. We hope we shall capture all of them, and they pay for injuring our pride. The pride of keeping Ugandans safe by keeping away those who are not desired in the public. Injuring our pride of professionalism. Lastly, Your Excellency, I want to inform the cadets who are being commissioned today, if you so wish to commission them, that they are welcome to Uganda Prison Service. Discipline is our motto. It is our core value, discipline. And you know we have no mercy. If you are indisciplined in Uganda Prison Service, we discharge you. There is no going to court, no. In discipline, you are discharged. That is part of our SOP, Standard Operating Procedure, which we call standing orders. And the NCOs, you are now going to control the warders and wardresses. You are going to manage them. You are going to be an example to them so that they execute their functions. And you know, of course, our core values, as the Commandant stated. Your Excellency, I want to thank you for honoring these people. It's motivation, it's inspiration. I know how they are feeling now inside. For us, we didn't have this type of thing. When we joined in 1983, and you finish your course, you would just go to the store, get the pips, and you walk away. Not this elaborate and a very honored function. Thank you, Your Excellency. Thank you once again for coming. Thank you, our invited guests. Probably I didn't thank the first female commandant of the Prisons Academy and Training School. Assistant Commissioner Brenda Sana, thank you very much for drilling these people. And keep it up. I cannot promise anything. But when your boss talks, you pay attention. Thank you, Your Excellency. Oh, I am inviting the Honorable Minister of Internal Affairs to come and invite His Excellency to commission or even decommission the cadets and the non-commissioned officers who are passing out today. Thank you, sir.
Your Excellency, is it okay? The President of the Republic of Uganda, General Yoweri Museveni, His Lordship the Chief Justice, the service chiefs, senior officers of the prison service, the prison authority, junior officers of the prison service, graduate officers, senior NCOs, ladies and gentlemen, Allow me to welcome you to this function and to thank you for finding time to come and grace the function. We believe that nobody is born a criminal. But we also believe that the circumstances in which mankind is raised determine how they will behave throughout their life. Henceforth, we believe that the prison service, much as offenders of those who offend the law ought to be punished, should be a correction service, because on release, the offenders have to reintegrate in society. We believe that people are conditioned into situations of lawlessness by those who want to take advantage of their fellow men, satisfy their greed, and those who sometimes think they can make mileage, political mileage, out of crime. I would want to inform Ugandans that crime does not pay. Those you mislead into criminal activity are unfortunate and end very badly. So those who intend to engage in crime in order to further political advantage, you are mistaken. The law will catch up with you, and it will not be merciful. To you, the prison officers, prison should be a place for rehabilitation, and prisoners ought to be taken and regarded as human beings. We have a lot of skill in prison, both official and inmate. Your Excellency, we intend to use those skills to further improve production in prison and enhance capacity for inmates to be fully reintegrated on release into society. We intend to ensure that we minimize recidivism, if not eliminate it to its minimum. Henceforth, we are going to strive to ensure that the prison service is a correction service where people ought not to come back because they've been given opportunity, skills to see them through life, to ensure that they don't come back to prison. When these present facilities were constructed, Uganda's population was about 15 million. We are now 44. And because we are 44, the holding capacity of the prison service has been strained. Much as we are aware about the constraints facing, the financial constraints facing our country, we believe we should come to you and the cabinet to try to see how to adjust capacity to population, resources willing. With those few words, may I take this opportunity to invite you, Your Excellency, to address the prison staff.
His Lordship, the Chief Justice, the Honorable Ministers, CDF, the Commissioner General of Prisons, other prisons officers, and the graduates. I, Yoweri Kaguta Museveni Tohabrua, the President of the Republic of Uganda and Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces of Uganda, by the powers and authority vested in me by Chapter 7, Clause 98, Subclause 1 of the Constitution of the Republic of Uganda of 1995, as amended, on this 31st day of August 2021, hereby commission and pass out 97 cadet assistant superintendents of prisons. Signed, Yoweri Museveni, General Retired. What do I do with the NCOs? I also pass them out. Oh, that I should not commission you. By the same powers of the Constitution, I pass out the students, the trainees who have been undergoing a prison's NCO course. So I congratulate both categories, the officer cadets who are now officers commissioned, and the NCOs. Congratulations. And I also congratulate the commandant and the trainers, as well as the leadership of the prisons and the Minister of Internal Affairs. Congratulations, all of you, and thank you. Now, a modern state is more organized than the old systems. In the modern state, there is a division of labor so that things are done efficiently. First of all, there are the three pillars of state: the executive, with all the subgroups there, starting with the president, going up to the parish chief. Then you have the legislature, and then you have the judiciary. These are the three pillars. With each one, it's Lubimbi, Origezi, Katara. The executive evolve policy, and once policy is approved legally, you implement it. Parliament, many of the policies will have to be made into laws. So the only one to make a law is the Parliament, together with the President, by assenting to the laws. Judiciary, if the laws are violated, who will know? Who will determine the guilt or otherwise of the offender to the courts? But within the executive, there are also specializations. Some specialize in agriculture, others in industry, the army, in defense, security services, in spying, who is doing bad things. Then the prisoners comes in. The prison, their job is that once people have broken the law or suspected to break the law, brought by the police is there hunting all the troublemakers. The police brings those people. Once they are on remand, they become your residents. And they keep coming to court until they are either discharged or condemned. And once they are condemned, then you have got your two jobs. Job number one, in some few cases, you hang them. As ordered by the courts and by the president. Otherwise, so there you become an implementer of the punishment. And that's why the other day I wrote, I was in the TV explaining, police, army, don't try to be punishers. Your job is not to punish. Your job is to arrest and prosecute. Because by beating, you have now become a punisher now. Please, that's not your job. The people to punish are there. People to punish, first of all, it's the courts. Even me, I have no power. Yes, I have powers as president, ultimately. But nobody else has got powers to punish except the courts and those punishments carried out by the prisons. So, one of your roles is to implement the punishment of society on antisocial elements. Nobody else has got those powers. It's really a problem why people cannot see their jobs. A policeman is trying to be a punisher. No, your job is not to punish. Your job is to detect, arrest, prosecute, in some cases defend. Very clear and simple. So one of your jobs is punishers according to the law. If they say somebody, so and so should be hanged, you arrange. And the person is legally hanged. If they say, you keep this man here for 100 years, that's your job. You just keep opening, clocking. So that's your job. And what Commissioner General Biawasheja was saying, we need to keep expanding those facilities so that you can do that job well, the job of punishing. Now, your other job is to correct. I don't know whether I have left anything. I think these are very clear. I don't know why people really give themselves burdens by doing things which are not theirs. So your other job is the one who is not to be hanged, the one who is not, but I think even the one to be hanged, he could be hanged when he has repented. They can say he repented, he wrote and apologized. So he goes, he's hanged as a Christian or as a Muslim. Otherwise, your other job for the others, the one who has been locked up for 5 years, the one for 3 years, the one for 10 years, your job, your mission is, this man, why should he go out of prison the way he came, or even worse than he came? Why don't you help him and society by improving this man so that he gets out, by the time he gets out, he's a better person? And how does he become a better person? Behavior-wise, but also with skills. With skills. If he goes in as somebody who had no skill, comes out as a carpenter, comes out as a metro worker, comes out as somebody who can handle ceramics, a tailor, weaving, you will really be helping these people, because you can hear that your constituency is not small. 55,000 people under you. So, if you would have done a big service to them, but also to the society. So from what your leaders are saying, I can hear that they are very clear about their mission. But then, the Uganda prisons, I don't know whether other prisons in the world do it, by history, apart from the job of punishing on behalf of society, the job of correcting wrongdoers on behalf of society, you also added on the job of being a productive prison service by doing very good things. The furniture which I saw when I came, the furniture which I saw, the cotton, the maize which I saw at Rimi, and I would like my staff to remind me so that I help the commissioner to do the qualitative jump, because you heard him saying You heard him saying that with so much cotton, I can no longer go on just picking Okshoroma. Okshoroma with the picking, like they do in Nyakshenyi and those places. He's saying now it is the time to go for machines now. Machine plowing, machine picking, harvesting, machine spraying. I'm ready to support that one. For both cotton and maize and so on. So that you will not only increase production, but these prisoners will be watching when they are there. They will be watching. And when they retire, well, not retire, when they leave prison, they would have seen some of those things. And you never know, they can go and also copy in their villages. So I want to thank prisoners, because I don't hear much trouble there. It seems the discipline is quite high. And I congratulate you. But there is something small. The prisons, when we are talking about the national resistance movement, prisoners never come out much. They are normally seen as Ruzira and all those places. But actually, from the 1960s, I had a small base in the prisons. I had one of my comrades, a man called Katambuka. Katambuka, when I last interacted with him closely, he was a prisons officer in Mbari. And he was my clandestine contact in Mbari. So some of the prison people also, when they were not busy locking up people, some of them helped to the NRM when we were struggling. So I congratulate the graduates. And now, life, these graduates are graduates, what? All graduates. So I congratulate you, and life for you is beginning. Good things are there in front. Uganda is peaceful and progressing. You have now entered into one of these institutions. You have heard that Byabashaija joined in 1983. This is now almost 40 years ago. So for you, you try to imagine where you will be 40 years from now. He's now Commissioner General. But you, one of you may be a Commissioner General. But that is if you look after yourself well. First of all, look after your health. Don't squander your health with alcohol and umalaya, because these are the two terrible things which can destroy you. Then corruption. Corruption. Then, of course, discipline. You follow the procedures of the prisons. If you have got an opinion, you give it in the right forum. If others say yes, you carry the day. If not, you go along with the decisions of the institution. You will go very far. And now I'm very glad with the doctrine of the prisons. Because Dr. Yabashesha was saying that for the prisons, like UPDF, every step is preceded by a course, training. That's what he said. Every jump is preceded by a course and promotional exams. So, with the discipline, with the good health, with the training, there's nothing that will stop you going up. And where we are going, the public service will be better remunerated. Now, remuneration is not so good, but it will improve. And it has been improving even in this time. But it will improve even more and more. So therefore, don't miss this chance that you have now entered. Make sure you maintain the progress. The country will remain peaceful. There are people who, as General Tafiri was saying, there are people who miscalculate and think that they can disturb Uganda and NRM. This is just self-deception. Because there is no force which can defeat us either politically or militarily. The only thing you can do is to endanger yourself and endanger the ones you are misleading. Like these people have been attacking old people in a massacre. Imagine old people, 80, 70, they find them in their homes. They murder them at night with the clubs and so on. And they think that these are political actors or strategy. This is no strategy. You are finished now. You are finished. I think it's unfortunate that they have caused the death of these old people, but those groups are finished politically, because once we bring evidence in court and say so and so is the one who sent these young people on marijuana to kill an old man of 80, where will you be? Where will you go? You will have nowhere to go. You are finished. Everybody will see that you are, I normally say, pigs. Hawa nguruwe tu. And don't say I'm the one who said it is Jesus. Because the reverend is there. The prisoner's reverend, because it says in the Bible, temusanga byemwendo byammwe omumaso g'embizi mutarita eruru zanyu ino Lunyankole mutarita eruru zanyu omwisho g'empunu. Thou shalt not put your pearls before pigs, because they don't appreciate killing an old man, an old woman. You are a pig. You are a pig. Nguruwe, embizi. What do we call pigs in Acholi? Come and tell me, Reverend. No, okay, on the microphone. Look, I showed my bear.
Hey, we are look my bear.
Uh-huh.
Opego, pig is called opego.
Opeko.
Hey, opego.
Opego, these are opegos. but actually it's like English. Opego pig is
I think it's similar.
Apoyo.
Bear.
But you see what they don't realize. There is no way you can commit a crime in Uganda and fail to know you. Only that sometimes the police are not very well sensitized, but otherwise, you will leave all sorts of clues which will enable the police to hunt you. Many of the young people have already been arrested, and others are going to be arrested. So therefore, I want to really next week I will go. I will speak in the local language to talk to the people, to explain to them this bankruptcy of some of these actors. We can mobilize a force, even 500,000 people. There's no manpower cannot mobilize to defend the country. So I congratulate you, and as an old man, I can tell you that the advantage of discipline is good. You see me here, in September I will be 77 years, but if you want to run here now, I can join. This is because I don't have space for alcohol. I have never known why people drink alcohol. One time in 1966, I went to a bar in Mbarara there. I had not tested these English alcohols. And one of my friends said I should try. I tried beer. Beer is like so bitter. There is a plant, Banyankore call it ombirizi. In Uganda it is called umluluza. That beer was like umluluza. So bitter. I said, but what are you drinking here? He told me, you will know the sweetness later. Then there was one terrible, like a poison. It's like a spirit. There was a dog there, a dog blowing a bugle. That it is a spirit, John Walker or something like that. Now, this friend of mine, they put that one they don't put it in a glass, they put it in a small thing. Like, I put it, it's like fire. You feel it's like fire in the mouth. But how can you, why should you drink these things? Huh? It's really amazing how people can. Now, if this thing can burn my tongue, what will happen to the liver, to the what? So please, there are advantages in discipline. I'm now going to be 77. You saw me walking in the Royal Triangle there. I can walk any distance. After the sitting is my problem now. This sedentary life is where the problem is. sitting, office, meetings, what? Because otherwise, if I was with the cows, it would be much better. So please, health is wealth. Don't play around with your but also exercising, because obesity is also another indiscipline. Very fat. Even me, I don't exercise enough because I don't have enough time. But exercising is also part of the discipline. And the idea of having health is that you get time to do more. It's not that we want to live forever. No, we shall also go to heaven. But the longer you live, the more contribution you can make, especially if you are healthy. My father died at the age of 97. Some of you people came to escort him. In the last 20 years of his life, he helped me to write a Nyankore Chiga thesaurus, like a dictionary. Nobody had written it, but I was able to write it with his assistance in the later part of his life. If he had died when he was 70, I wouldn't have written that. I would have missed his contribution. So the longer you live, the more contribution you make. So health, discipline, training, for you young people, you will see the future is bright. I congratulate you and I wish you good luck.
Your Excellency, thank you so much. Let's put our hands together for the Fountain of Honor. The Wise Council has been very important and we have taken all. Your Excellency, we beg for your indulgence. We still have 2 exercises to conduct. Then we can come to the conclusion of this function. And we are also requesting that we have a memorable photo with you, and the Commissioner General has prepared a sumptuous luncheon thereafter, Your Excellency. Parade Commander, proceed with the next exercise of peeping. Your Excellency, due to COVID, you will remain seated as you witness these young men and women people themselves and attend the new attire as commissioned officers.
To them as pigs. They are pigs. Those killing our people are pigs. Those are the words of the president. But he says also that they are not his words, but they are words of Jesus Christ, who says that whoever that is doing what him or her do not want to be done to him are pigs. Omulungi atulaba ku Star TV emunenye eggwanga tukyagenda mu maaso n'omukolo ogw'okutongoza era wetwogerera ng'abaserikale b'amakomera bano already batongozeddwa ogenda okukola emirimu gyabwe. Kyolaba essaawa eno kwe kubawa amayinja gaabwe okubakakasa nti ddala omukulembeze w'eggwanga abatongoza era bagende bakuume bakole emirimu gyabwe mu bitundu ebyenjawulo eby'eggwanga. Abasirikale b'amakomera abasukka 300 be bafulumiziddwa era ne bakakasibwa era nga boolaba ku lutimbe lwa TV yo ku UBC ne Star TV kati bambazibwa amadaala kye bayita pipping mu lulimi olufutifuti olw'amagye. Omukulembeze w'eggwanga mumuwulidde ng'ayogerako eri abaserikale bano abatongozeddwa. Emikolo egy'oku bawa ennyota gye gigenda mu maaso libasanyu nno gyereere eri abo ababa bakakasiddwa. Abamu ku bano b'ofiisa babadde mu kutendekebwa okumala emyezi 18 bali 97 ate bano 264 batutte emyezi 3 nga batendekebwa. Essaawa eno abajjajjaffe bagamba nti kyosiga kyokungula, basiga okutendekebwa ne basiga empisa olunaku olwaleero bawanguzi era zennyota ezo z'olaba babaweebwa nga Cadet Assistant Superintendents of Prisons abambaziddwa oba bali mu kwambazibwa essaawa eno ennyota ezo bali 97 so nga non-commissioned officers era nabo abali mu kwambazibwa ennyota zaabwe bali 267. Gwe mukolo ogwo ogwolaba okugenda mu maaso. Omukulembeze w'eggwanga agambye mwababadde batawulira lulimi lwabadde ayogera Olungereza okubaddiramu ebitonotono mwabategeera olulimi lwaffe olwawano. Omukulembeze w'eggwanga agambye tewali muntu n'omu asobola kutabangula mirembe mu ggwanga lyattu Uganda waakiri si mu budde bwa NRM. Era n'ageraageranya ku abo abatta abantu naddala ab'ebijambiya e Masaka n'abageraageranya ku mbizi empunu nti abo abatta abantu mbizi naye era tebajja kumalako n'ebigendererwa byabwe kubanga gavumenti eyalondebwa abantu ekyaliwo ate bakyagenda mu maaso n'okukuuma bannayuganda n'ebintu byabwe. Omukulembeze era akinongaanyizza n'asaba abaserikale b'amakomera bano abava okufulumizibwa mu butongole abasabye okuba n'empisa n'abasaba okukuuma obulamu bwabwe nga beewala enguuli eyitiridde ate nga beewala n'ebikolwa eby'obwamalaaya kuba byebikolwa ebyo ebibiri enguuli eyitiridde wamu n'obumalaaya busobola okuteeka mu buzibu abawadde ekyokulabirako nti ye mu mwezi ogujja agenda kubaweza emyaka 77 naye agambye nti wogezezaako okuleeta effujjo wakuyoolera nakkuba ennume y'ekigobe ddu kale mwebale nnyo mwebale ddala era basuubizza nga gavumenti bujja okuba nti eyongeza ku misaala gy'abakozi ba gavumenti abasinga obungi ne bano abaserikale b'amakomera mugagwa abapoliisi nabo mugagwa abaserikale n'abakozi abalala bangi nnyo abawadde essuubi nti kituufu akimanyi omusaala gukyali mutonotono naye gavumenti erina enteekateeka ey'okwongeza emisaala gy'abakozi ba gavumenti bonna ng'etandika ne bascientists kakati ekyo nno nakyo kiri awo omukulu era
there they conclude the exercise of peeping. They have saluted His Excellency in their new smartly dressed shoulders. Congratulations, Cadet Assistant Superintendents of Prisons. It's been wonderful. Let's put our hands together, stronger ones, for our new graduates. Your Excellency, we have some of these people who performed extremely well, and they deserve award from you, Your Excellency. The next exercise is recognition of the award by being presented them to you for your blessings so that they equally succeed in the field like they have been for training. My Assistant Director of Ceremonies, Senior Superintendent of Prisons, Mary Centenary, will give the citation. Give the citation of the cadets, and Assistant Commissioner of Prisons, Senator Moses, will give the citation of the NCOs.
That marks the end of the peeping exercise. The officers standing before you on your screens, we can ably confirm that they are now fully commissioned cadet assistant superintendents of prisons and non-commissioned officers. Now the exercise that is going to be performed is awarding the best performers. Of course, according to the head of the Prisons Academy Training School.
Parade Commander, sir,
Afande
you can now prepare the officers for the awards.
There is a procedure under which they are awarded those that have performed better than the others, and they are going to be awarded with prizes. The other issue the President mentioned about, ladies and gentlemen, was a warning to all the security, the prisons, the police, and the to never what they are not supposed to do. Single out, torturing the prisoners, so hardly and strongly against it. Do what they are mandated to do. If the prison officers were supposed to treat the prisoners all, give a punishment according to the course of law, but not punishing or treating all, torturing the inmates. He spoke strongly against it. He said that they should do what they are supposed to do, or they should do what they are mandated to do. And for example, the prisons, to keep
Your Excellency,
and the police,
the first
law
gift
and order.
will go to the best overall female
Does not have a mandate
Cadet Assistant Superintendent of Prisons,
but to
Joan
keep law
Narweiso.
and order. It is the courts that are
Your Excellency, Joan Narweiso holds the Bachelor of Arts
inmates to give
and Social Development from Makerere University.
kanono ngenda kanyuma.
She was the most disciplined female officer trainee. She was the overall best at shooting range. She is very good academically. She performed very well. She's very organized and smart. Mature, distinguished leadership abilities. She's very morally upright and trustworthy. And she has always completed the assigned tasks within a given time while on training. She's the best overall female trainee, Your Excellency.
The awarding ceremony of the best, that is the best overall amongst the trainers. It feels good to win an award of being the best. Recently you were here, and government.
She now
is
takes
awarding
a photo
our
moment with the Fountain of Honor. We thank you very much, Your
Feels really
Excellency,
good. When you do good,
for that.
you appreciate it.
The second award, Your Excellency, goes to the best overall male trainee, Cadet Assistant Superintendent of Prisons, Sanon Isoba. Your Excellency, Sanon holds the Bachelor of Computer Engineering from Busitema University. He has outstanding leadership abilities. He was the second best overall in academic performance while at training. He's highly disciplined, highly dedicated at work, very smart, morally upright. Sanon is mature, assertive, and has confidence. He's a loyal servant, both to administration and cadets, as he was their head prefect. Sanon, congratulations once again.
Okay, omulungi atulaba ku UBC TV ne Star TV nja kubanga mbabuulira biki bigenda mu maaso omukolo gwe tuliko gwe gw'okuwa ebirabo eri abayizi.
He proceeds to take a photo moment with His Excellency, the President of the Republic of Uganda.
Wamu n'omuduumizi w'amagye ow'oku ntikko. Ekyo nno kye kigenda mu maaso. Nga bwe mbadde nkugamba nti bulijjo omuntu akola obulungi asiimibwa. Tulabye
Your Excellency, we present to you the most disciplined officer while on training, and that is Cadet Assistant Superintendent of Prisons, Jasper Okabo. Your Excellency, Jasper holds the Bachelor of Computer Science and IT from Kampala University. Jasper has respect for his seniors, equals, and he's considerate to his colleagues and peers. He has excellent and impressive personality. He's a calm officer. He's obedient, empathetic, and cooperative. He does not question lawful authority at all. He's flexible and very highly self-motivated. That is the most disciplined cadet officer, Jasper Okabo. Once again, congratulations, Jasper, for that memorable photo moment with the Fountain of Honor. Your Excellency, we present to you the best in academics, Cadet Assistant Superintendent of Prisons, Justin Eilu. Your Excellency, Justin Eilu holds a Bachelor of Science in Biomedical Engineering from Makerere University, and he performed the best in academics. He's also smart and very highly disciplined. Congratulations, Justin Eilu.
Your Excellency, we now proceed to the category of NCOs. To the category of the NCOs, and we present to you the best overall female NCO, and that is Matron Akelo Stella. Akelo Stella is the best female in academics with an average mark of 91.8%, and Akelo is in the third position overall, but she's the best in the entire intake, voted the smartest, very organized, very mature, a composed NCO, and demonstrated a clear understanding of harmonization of training and her NCO abilities. She is trustworthy and responsible. Congratulations, Matron Akelo Stella. Next is the best overall male, Chief Warder 3, Semanda Deogracias. Semanda Deogracias demonstrated the best leadership abilities during the training, very vibrant, highly confident, but with discipline, very approachable, and demonstrated maturity. He has a good character and very unifying during training. He is well disciplined and performed well in academics. He was overall, he presented the best of all skills during the training. He is the best overall male, and congratulations, Semanda Deogracias. The most disciplined in the category of NCOs is Chief Warder 3, Ojok Samuel. Ojok Samuel exhibited the most desired level of discipline, was the overall best in discipline parameters. He was always punctual, calm, honest, self-driven, professional, with a behavior of maturity, very obedient to superiors, highly considerate to colleagues, respectful to everyone, social, but yet very professional. He responded to instructions very positively. Lastly, is the best in academics, and that is Sergeant Warder Kamali Poe. He scored the best in the entire intake, and academically, he performed above the expected scores, and he was very excellent, and he got distinctions throughout. Congratulations, Sergeant Kamari. And that was in the modules of human rights, prison standing orders, among others. Thank you, Your Excellency. That marks the end of this exercise, and we are much honored for your time and your wise counsel as you recognize the best performers.
Let's put our hands together for the best of the candidates that we have had this evening.
Congratulations to all of you who have won something, and of course entirely the entire Uganda Prison Services for this wonderful function.
Your Excellency, we all know the secret to success is constancy of purpose. Time has come. We conclude this for the parade commander to ask for permission to march off the parade, then sing the anthems and proceed for the photograph after the official closure of the ceremony. Parade commander. Parade commander, time has come for you to ask for permission to march off the parade, and then we conclude the ceremony officially, and we end with the photograph session, which will be in order of 4 guards, starting with the cadets, then the subsequent 4 until we conclude. Those in charge of the photography ensure the chairs are set up properly, and our guests' protocol, our guests are guided in accordance, and I think in the interest of what is going on, we shall have the front row here and the front row, the other side also standing behind His Excellency, together with these graduates for the group photo. Parade commander. There we go. The parade commander has successfully concluded his duty for today. Let's put our hands together as he continues to excel in performance. Let's put our hands together once again for the parade commander. Now taking over is the parade to IC Superintendent of Prisons, Josephine Nakakawa, to march off the parade.
Countrymen and countrywomen. Now the parade twice Nakakawa Josephine has taken over, of course, to get off the parade. Congratulations to you, Assistant Commissioner of Prisons, to Murami Eli, who was the parade commander. Now the twice Superintendent of Prisons, Nakakawa Josephine, takes over to have the parade off, of course with the permission from the Commander-in-Chief, General Yoweri Kaguta Museveni. Congratulations, the Uganda Prison Services. Congratulations, Uganda. Congratulations, East Africa and Africa at large. Whenever the country builds a strong security team, you are assured of progressive, you are assured of development, you are assured of Dongolobo, you are assured.
Your Excellency, today we are a team of directors of ceremonies. Permit me, sir, to invite my colleagues to introduce themselves in their order of seniority.
As a sign that
Your Excellency, I am Assistant Commissioner of Prisons, Moses Sentalo, and I have been one of the Assistant Directors of this ceremony. Thank you, Your Excellency.
Uganda Prisons, under the command of Acting Commissioner of Police, of Will Stephen, under the police, and on the side of the prison, it was commanded by the Assistant.
Your Excellency, I am Mary Sentinale, Senior Superintendent of Prisons and Deputy Commandant of the Prisons Academy and Training School. I've been one of the Assistant Directors of Ceremony. Thank you, sir.
Your Excellency, my name is Hasio Adams, Principal Rehabilitation and Reintegration Officer. I've been one of the Directors of Ceremonies. Thank you.
The photo session, those arranging the photograph, please, let's be fast. The photograph. The front rows of either tents will accompany His Excellency for the photo session.
Okay, dear viewers of UBC TV Inspiring Uganda, Star TV, Munyenye Gwanga, that is the parade marching off, and of course the last group to march off is the band. What is coming up next is
the big men first.
Dear viewers of UBC TV, Inspiring Uganda, we are still coming to live as we conclude. What you're seeing in the background is the parade marching off. They asked for permission from the Commander-in-Chief, who granted them permission, of course, to take off the parade. Now, what is going to happen, as you can see in my background, is a memorable picture with His Excellency, of course, the Minister of Internal Affairs and all the other service chiefs, the IGP, the representative of the IGP, the CDF, and all the other people. What I cannot forget to remind you Ugandans is COVID-19 still exists. And by the way, according to the Commissioner General of Prisons, Dr. Johnson Biabashaija, he said that COVID-19 has not spared either the prisons. He told us that 2 inmates have died to COVID-19, and one prison officer has also died to COVID-19. So let's continue, let's proceed to observe the SOPs, the SOPs as they are called. Of course, wash your hands regularly. Put on your mask. That is why I even worked with a mask on my face, even when you're very far away from me. But I have also to protect myself from this deadly pandemic, from this deadly virus, coronavirus, COVID-19. So continue to observe the SOPs. Make sure you don't congregate, and make sure you observe social distance wherever you are. And of course, we shall have to fight to the end of this. I've told you that the Commissioner of Prisons has also told us that the prisons has also not been spared. 2 inmates were killed, died to COVID-19, and of course 1 prisons officer. So let's continue to observe the SOPs. Let's continue to do whatever it takes so that we fight off the COVID-19 pandemic.
Officers coming for the photo, you will use the lower access, and as you leave, you use the upper access. Take note of that.
sounds of Nawaka Moto or Moto Unawaka in the background with the band as we wait for His Excellency, the President, to join the Minister of Internal Affairs, Major General Kaindo Tafere, I can see, as also he joins the Chief Justice and the 3 service chiefs, that is the CDF and the Commissioner of Prisons, and then the representative of the IGP, for a photo moment here at Kololo Independence Grounds. Of course, to stand behind them will be the fully already commissioned officers of today, the Wagore, I can call them, the Wagore of today who have just passed out to take this memorable picture. Omulungi tulaba ku Star TV UBC na mwenna abulira olulimi luno lwenjogera omwoto guliwa Kampala ke kayimba kobadde owulira mu background omukulembeze w'eggwanga essaawa eno nga bw'olaba ku lutimbe lwo yeegattiddwako minisita ow'ensonga z'omunda mu ggwanga Major General Kaindo Tafere retired, of course ne Ssaabalamuzi w'eggwanga Alfonso Owiny Dollo, ne Ssaabaduumizi w'amagye General Mbadi, wamu n'akulira amakomera Dr. Johnson Byabashaija, wamu ne akiikiridde Ssaabapoliisi mu kifaananyi ekyo nga bw'okiraba. Kakati abo abasoose okwekubya ekifaananyi n'omukulu be 97 Cadet Assistant Superintendents of Prisons abafulumiziddwa. Kakati no ne bano ba non-commissioned officers nabo baabo bajoyininze ekifaananyi okulaba nga nabo baba n'ebyafaayo nti kino nakyo baaliwo. Okay, taking a photo with His Excellency the President and his other team are the non-commissioned officers who reported for the training in May 2021 and have been there, have been trained for 3 months. They are in total 267 in number, 198 males and 69 females. You can see the trend is going, the ladies are also continuing to join these the security forces, which is a good thing because the way they handle probably the inmates could be because of their motherly attitudes, could be I assume better than the males. So we congratulate all the women who have joined the forces, prisons services, the police force, and then the UPDF. Congratulations once again. These ones were trained in different modules, including parade drills, including prison standing orders, human rights. Human rights is center in all these trainings, be it for prisons, be it for police, be it for the UPDF. Human rights. This is what His Excellency the President was talking about earlier on, cautioning these officers not to torture the suspects, because when you arrest, for example, when you arrest a suspect, this person, he or she, is still a suspect until the court decides that he has a case to answer or not. So you are not, according to the President, I'm not giving you orders, you may come for me here, please don't come for me. That was the President. Don't torture these suspects until court, because he says that it's not you to give punishments, it is the court, the courts of law. And the Chief Justice was here listening to His Excellency the President. He says it is the court to give punishment, then you put into observation, into order what the court has decided. If the court decides that this person should be hanged, okay, now you, the prisons, you go ahead and hang. But not hanging or torturing before the court decides. Then also, he says that you should not mistreat, torture the suspects in your custody. That shouldn't happen. He has talked very strongly against it, and I hope that all of you, the security agencies, you've heard. Kano nno njagala nkakyuseeko nkazene mu Luganda omukulu ategeezezza nti abaserikale bano ab'amakomera n'abapoliisi bano bonna abagasse wamu nti temusaanye kutulugunya, temusaanye kukola mirimu gitali gyammwe, gamba ng'okutulugunya abasibe, kubajjukira nti abantu bano baba bakwatiddwa baba bakyateeberezebwa okuba nti bazizza omusango ogwo. Kati omuntu olwo bw'ojja n'omukuba emiggo asobola n'okukkiriza nti wowe nnyabo nze nakikoze, naye nga ddala omuntu oyo si yakikoze, naye nga akkiriza olw'obulumi bw'ayitamu okulaba nti omukkiriza ekyo. Kati omukulembeze w'eggwanga mukama wammwe abagambye nti enno si kituufu, mugende mu maaso mukole ogwo omulimu gwe mulina okukola. Abapoliisi, kwata abantu munoonyereze ku musango, mubasindike mu kooti esalewo bwe baba balina omusango, then bagende mu kkomera awo, either nga gubasinze oba nga tegukoze ki, nga tegubasinze. Kale nno byebyo, ladies and gentlemen, as we speak now, His Excellency the President, who has been the chief guest at this function, is now leaving.
On your right, please don't leave without our
Yes, as you can see, His Excellency the President, is now departing Kololo Independence grounds, and now that marks the end of this function. His Excellency the President has concluded the function where he has been the chief guest at this function. What a way to end this function on a day that we are ending the month of August. Congratulations, Uganda. Congratulations, Uganda Prison Services. Congratulations, Dr. Johnson Byabashaija. And of course, congratulations to all the officers that have been commissioned today. Thank you so much, dear viewers, wherever you've been watching us from. What I can say is asantini sana. Thank you for tuning in. And of course, so many things are coming up next. I can say thank you so much for watching. Our Difo Munguni, Afoyo Matek Lubanko, Harahara Noi, Eyalama Noi, Kisirengre Kijo, Mwebale Nyo, Mwebale Dara, Mwebale Munonga. Thank you so much. And of course, I want to thank our team at Broadcast House in Kampala, headed by Madam Sophie Matovu Kakula and the rest. Thank you so much. And of course, the top management, Mr. Agaba, Mzee Mujisha, and all those ones. And I want also to salute our production team down here in Kololo, headed by Engineer Isaac Ankwanga and Engineer Stephen Keronga. Thank you so much. And of course, myself. Thank you so much. I'm called Dennis Blair Kalanzi. May God bless you. For God and my country, I now hand you over to Broadcast House in Kampala. May God bless Uganda. May God bless Africa. For God and my country.
I smile when I think of you, Uganda, my home. My home, I dance when I look at you, Uganda, my home. Oh, my Uganda.